good afternoon, everyone. Great to have you on the call again. This is episode 3 of our Inside South Bank series. And today we're going to be discussing the Reef Villa. So I know some of you have joined us before and you're familiar with our format. We are going to have a brief update from Ingo Reckhorn and then a 3D flyover focused on the Reef Villa design at the Ocean Estate from Gregory Blade. We're also joined by Joseph Zaum and Nina Siegenthaler, and we'll have a short question and answer session at the end. So please feel free to write to us in your chats, and we will have a chance to have a brief discussion. And lastly, I'm just going to launch a short poll. If you wouldn't mind just taking a look through it and giving us your feedback, we'd be grateful. So that is going live right now. And I'm going to hand it over to Ingo.
Hello, sorry, just had to unmute myself. Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's well today. Finally, the weather's turning around in Turks and Caicos and we're seeing some sunshine outside. Feel like it's been 3 weeks like I've never experienced before in my 12 years here on the island. So it's great to have that back. Yeah, today we're talking about the Reef Villa. We're very excited about this villa type. You can see behind me the specific location of the Reef Villa on our Ocean Estate 9 and 10 lots. What I just briefly wanted to do is show a couple more pictures of that specific location by sharing screen. And while I do that, there you go. While I do that, just give you a quick update also about where we stand on South Bank right now. So just 2 sentences maybe. We currently have a third lagoon villa under construction now. So that just started a couple of weeks ago. So 3 lagoon villas with the number 4, 7, and number 12 under construction. So we're very excited about that. And also our shoal villa on Ocean Estate 8 under construction and at roof level right now. This week, we're starting the active excavation of the lagoon on site to take that below sea level. So that commences this week. And for the next 3 months, you'll start seeing some very, very great changes on site through this excavation as it goes around the lagoon and then moves on towards the boathouses and the marina basin in general. So that will transform the site and make a huge impact for South Bank. We're really looking forward to that. We're very happy about that, about having started that now before Christmas. So just after Christmas, it'll look fantastic. So like I mentioned today, we're talking about our newest addition to the South Bank portfolio, which is the Reef Villa. You can see the specific location of the Reef Villas here. Ocean Estate 9 and 10, which is directly adjacent to our current Ocean Estate 8 shoal villa that's under construction. So you can see that here by now. This was taken about a month ago. So by now this shoal villa that you can see, can everybody see that? Yeah. Yeah, by now the shoal villa that you can see here is already at roof level as well. And all these supports and everything have been removed. So you can really feel the space in that. And the 2 reef villas are placed right next door to this shoal villa on these 2 beautiful lots on the Iron Shore with an elevation of about 18 to 20 feet. So it's a really pretty section of the South Bank shoreline, the 2,200 feet of it that we have. The reef villas, I'll just take you through, will be integrated into the specific Iron Shore locations that they're located on, similar to this Tranquility Pool that you see here, carved into the Iron Shore. It'll be a very similar logic for the reef villas, and these are the type of views that you'll enjoy as well from the 2nd floor of the reef villa. The slab heights are roughly the same as this shoal villa that you see here. Now, of course, the Reef Villa, as you'll see, and as Greg will explain more in the future of this call, they're an ode to our popular lagoon villa designs with their iconic butterfly roofs. And we've added some elements of, let me say, maybe refinement or ways to fit it into the Ocean Estate seamlessly with the material selections for the exterior cladding, for instance. But again, I'll leave that to Greg. And then some specific design changes to make them suit the oceanfront sites that they sit on. So without further ado, so just another image here of that iconic butterfly roof, but I don't want to take away too much from Greg. So I'll hand over to Greg so that he can go into the details of the design. And then we'll be available to answer some questions at the end of Greg's presentation.
Thanks, Ingo. Sorry, there's a slight delay there. There's a little bit of noise outside the office right now, so apologies for that. I'll disappear in a minute. Happy Monday, everyone. I'm going to talk about a few, I'm going to talk about these two sketches first of all. This one here is a sketch we did this morning, trying to capture some of the qualities that we think the Reef Villa possesses. So this is a sketch of the Sea Ranch project in California. It sits on a really craggy, very beautiful cliff top, and amazingly, or interestingly, the master plan was designed by a landscape architect and not an architect. And the design sought to arrange a collection of homes that respond to the undulations of the coastline, so as to maintain its particular character, rather than providing a kind of skyline of houses. So we thought this is a sketch of the Reef Villa, and there's a kind of synergy or a thought process which is similar between these two pieces of architecture. So I'm going to go on to the flyover, and I'm hoping you can all see that. Good. So I think the first point to say, you know, that as Ingo was saying, and this sits on a really stunning piece of coastline, Ironshore, with some elevation. And what we tried to do on approach is to kind of define various zones. So on the bottom right-hand corner of this, you can see this low wall which could be planted, which defines the transition between landscape and approach, forecourt, and another set of low walls which then define a front garden. So we've tried to kind of use some low walling in order to define various areas on approach, because it's quite a long site, so you want to have those different characters, if you like. This particular rendering shows some options which Ingo will go through at the end of the presentation. So there's a pop-out fourth bedroom option here, which allows this bedroom at level 1 to have an ocean view of its own. So there's 3 primary bedrooms in this particular version that have proper full width ocean views. And we're also showing the garage and guest house option, which is slightly set back so as to kind of reduce the visible mass, with some planters along the face in order to kind of soften it into landscape. So as we move through, you'll see these kind of transition points, these low walls that take you to forecourt and then into front garden, with the steps up that, because of the elevation change here, we've got some kind of shallow steps that lead you up to the front door. I think the most important thing, which I forgot to say, so I'm going to backtrack, is that the lower section of these buildings will all be in one consistent material, so a render finish. But then sitting above that, perched above that, is the butterfly roof, which is clad in the same very light grey porcelain tile that we're using in the other oceanfront homes. So there will be a consistency when viewed from the ocean of these houses sitting together with the same materiality. The other benefit, obviously, of the porcelain tile is that it's highly robust for bad weather, for ultraviolet light, for wind and rain. And so, you know, this is a kind of bulletproof external facade material. So let me go back to where we were before. So as you approach and enter the building, on the left-hand side, there's a staircase which we spent a ton of time designing something in plywood, in maple plywood, and bespoke metalwork as a handrail, which is a kind of contemporary kind of diagonal feature, if you like. But it's I think for me, this design is about this particular house is about design and functionality. So we've thought about every kind of nook that we could utilize in order to provide more storage, in order to provide other functions we've taken advantage of. And as you enter the home and come into the kitchen, the points of note here is the Linnea kitchen, this high-end Italian kitchen that we're using, a dining space which is both inside and outside. And the most important point here is that because of its southerly orientation, you want overhead protection. So the building projects out over the outside dining space in order to provide protection from the sunlight. On the right-hand side, you see pushing out slightly by a few foot is the grand room, which is the interior lounge, which then has an uncovered exterior lounge adjacent to it. So you can kind of see in this image the functionality element. It's highly functional home sat on the island shore. So as we come around, you'll see more of that space. And outside, underneath the building, and spinning around again, here we go, and pause here. You can see the covered outdoor dining space, integrated external kitchen, and then you're standing in the outside lounge, or outside terrace, which is uncovered. So you have that variety of spaces to suit your needs. As we come in again, we put windows at every corner, so you get these views out towards the landscape. This is an important point, which is that window right in front of you is 50 foot between the face of the side of the building and the adjacent property. So there's a really deep piece of landscaping there, which we're hoping will be planted quite heavily to give you privacy to the neighboring lot number 8. So, different types of sitting areas. There's a breakfast bar here, a dining space adjacent to it. So, that functionality element is really key. And as we come back into the foyer, you'll see the bespoke staircase, which is under storage here. So as I say, every nook and cranny, we've tried to include some more storage space. So this is a kind of push catch storage underneath the powder room, which has got a door which is faced in the same material as the staircase. So there's a kind of unified quality, and a nook here for shoes, and a little seat for when you enter the house. So we've tried to think about how you use the home, the usability, the functionality element of living in this environment, and also family living. So upstairs into the landing, you see the black metalwork for the handrail. And as we spin round into one of the master bedrooms, on the right-hand side is a closet coming into the bathroom, the ensuite in front of you, a 9-foot window with the bottom section which can be frosted out for privacy. And we've taken the kind of design language of the balustrade staircase and brought that into the bathroom. So instead of the kind of more usual, typical frameless glass to the shower screens, they're framed in bespoke black metal aluminium as well. So that kind of design language ties through the property. Double vanities from the same sister company as the kitchen manufacturer. So really high-end, high-quality vanities. And coming into the master bedroom space, this vaulted ceiling, the butterfly is helpful in order to create these generous internal spaces. So it's very high on one side, 13 foot on one side. And then the outdoor lounge for this bedroom, which is protected to the left and right with these flanking walls for privacy and against the elements. And it's important to note the overhanging roof, which also provides protection from the sun and the bad weather whenever it comes. And then a frameless glass balustrade, which allows this unencumbered, seamless connection between the terrace and the Caicos Bank. So we'll come round again, then we'll go back into the building and into the adjacent master bedroom. So as you enter the adjacent master bedroom, there's a full height fixed glass window, which allows this, you can imagine what the view is going to be like through that window, a little look for a piece of furniture. And as you come in, you'll see a similar kind of layout of a covered terrace in front of you. And we thought that it would be nice to have to break the wall so you get this slight diagonal view out towards the sea and obviously an adjacent window. So this is going to be quite an amazing 180-degree view outside of here. It's worth noting that this external slot we're going to glaze up to a height, so it'll protect you from the breezes and protect you from the weather. So this is, again, a highly usable outside lounge space, which is private because of the flanking walls. As you come out, we'll rotate round in a second to view the property. Here you can see the various elements at the bottom of the, sorry, I didn't do full screen, but there we go. The various pieces of kind of infrastructure, if you like, in the garden. This linear pool with a bench seat that runs all the way along the side of it. So from the floor below, there's a kind of water-to-water connection of the swimming pool and the sea. A lounging deck here with deck chairs, and then a path that we're forming very specifically on each lot, cutting into the iron shore to take you down to an ocean deck and water access here. So, you know, we tried to kind of piece together a few decks, if you like, in the landscape to allow real easy usability of this of the iron shore. And then we'll spin round again, and you'll see the butterfly roof with this break in the middle, so that they appear like two perched volumes on this plinth, lounging deck and ocean deck. And then we'll enter this final rendering, which then shows you clearly the option of the fourth bedroom here, which is, you know, back in the landscape, looking out across the garden to the iron shore and the ocean. So, you know, this is an option, but it's a really nice bedroom sat in the garden. And you can see the kind of impression of the roof lines between the properties to left and right, and this form, which is slightly more easy, if you like, than the boxy form that you see elsewhere. And I think they sit really nicely together as a collection of homes. And then we'll go into the floor plans, which are self-explanatory, I'm sure, but you can see this as the option. So this is a 3-bed option without the extended bedroom to the side with the ensuite. Garage and guest house, and these low walls defining these various zones in the landscape. And you can see the placement of the fourth bedroom here. And then upstairs, the 2 master suites with their covered spaces and closets and en-suites. And then these last 3 drawings show the options, which are the 4th bedroom, as I was mentioning, the guest house with its attached garage. They're all options which you can select. And the final item is the spec sheet, which I think Ingo might want to touch on a couple of pricing elements, which is his realm, not mine.
Yeah, thanks very much, Greg. The key facts here, obviously the acreage of the 2 lots that these houses will be offered on at about half an acre. But even more critical, the ocean frontage. And what's really nice about these, the home width itself is about 40 feet. So on each of these lots, you have another 25 feet, which leads to a huge amount of privacy, especially on Ocean Estate 9, where your neighbor is a shoal villa that sits on an extra wide 107-foot lot. So you'll have almost 50 feet between Ocean Estate 9 Reef Villa and Ocean Estate 8 Shoal Villa, which is something that's really, really beautiful, we think. As Greg explained, this is a 3 or 4 bedroom house under one roof, but then a 5th bedroom can be added as a freestanding guest house. So the 3 bedroom size is about 3,140 square feet of AC space and 4,300 square feet total, including the exterior areas. And the 5 bedroom layout actually totals almost 4,000 square feet in total. So I think that's quite a nice bit of information there. Another thing that was important to me is why we introduced this, and that is that's visible here from the total villa price of 3.2 million. We felt that we needed to offer something in the portfolio that was in between our Lagoon Villa price point and our entry-level price point of the Shoal Villas on the Ocean Estate, which was at about 4.5. And with this price point of 3.2, we really put something on the Iron Shore, on the ocean front, with a beautiful view of the Caicos Bank that sits right in the middle of these 2 price points. And we feel, looking at the general market, not only the South Bank price points, but also the general market in Turks and Caicos, that this is a very attractive offering for somebody who loves the view, loves the oceanfront aspect, but also wants to take advantage of all the amenities and facilities that South Bank will have to offer, ranging from the marina with boat dockage and services through the gym and spa and restaurants and water sports offerings and everything else that South Bank will have to offer. So we feel that this is something that's quite special and very unique, and with only 2 villas on offer, we think that there's some urgency for the marketplace to act on these quickly.
Absolutely, Ingo. And I just thought I would take the opportunity also to illustrate your point. Could we come out of full screen, Greg? And so the rendering just behind me, sort of oddly positioned, in between the 2 reef villas, but just behind me, we've got which way is it? This way, the Shoal Villa. So lot 8 is here, and we've got our 2 reef villas, lot 9 and lot 10. So you'll see there's a significant amount of privacy between the buildings, as Ingo said. So if there's nothing further, we do have a question from Karen Biker. And I'm just going to see if I can unmute Karen so she can ask the question herself. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Hi there. Go ahead.
Hi. I just had one question. The steps leading up to the villa from the car parking area, are there gaps in between, or is it a continuous path? It looks as if there's
that's
in between each path.
Hi, Karen. It's not going to be like that. That's just in the rendering, in the CGI. That's not that. To be totally honest, there's a bit of work that we need to do on site with measured surveys to make sure that it's as gradual and as easy as possible. That's yeah.
Thanks, no problem. It was just it's not very user friendly for elderly or young, and I just wanted to ask that. That's great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen. That's great feedback. It's interesting, isn't it? Because everyone sort of sees things differently. I actually really, really love that. I find that sort of super modern and a really nice way of sort of changing your typical approach. I don't see any questions here from our attendees, but
I believe Nina's raising her hand, Courtney.
Oh, hi, Nina. Let me just unmute you.
Hi, yeah, no, I just wanted to add more of a general comment, because as we've gone through a few of these, I think what I'm really enjoying and appreciating in discovering each design is that, in hearing Greg talk and hearing Ingo talk, is that, not only are we getting a sense of each design and how it relates to the individual sites, but also really the relationship as a whole and how they relate to each other. And that's everything from the selection of materials and the durability that's been thought through. But it really gives me a better sense, I think, Greg, in the way that you talk about it, of the thought that's gone through, and kind of speaking to Karen's question as well, how each individual site will have its own oceanfront access that's specifically tailored to that site and organically designed to accommodate the designs on each lot.
Yeah, I think just as a kind of sideline, I spoke to Ingo at the end of last week and thought that maybe we should do one of these, which is just about, you know, ocean access, because we spend a ton of time thinking about the various different landscapes and that these houses sit on, and the whole purpose is how you access the ocean. And so, yeah, maybe that's for another day, but yeah, I'm kind of passionate about it because we spend a lot of time thinking about this kind of thing.
Greg, why don't you stay with that for a couple of minutes and just talk us through that a little bit? That would be helpful.
All right. Oh, now. Yeah. Well, I think you know, I think this. I want to have another section on this with some drawings, etc. But I think, you know, there's I haven't counted them up yet, but probably 6 different methods of accessing the ocean. So there's, you know, a beach access, which is around the lagoon. There's a dock access at the boathouses, which have been really carefully thought out in terms of elevation above water. There's a taxi service access. There's ocean access at the Iron Shore, which is about a kind of tailored approach, lot to lot to lot, which is about, you know, carving a neat way down to the water. And I think, you know, each one of those has design related to it, but it's about ease of access, I suppose. And I think we should really highlight that in the future, you know, that this is all about getting in the ocean or on the ocean.
I agree with that. Thanks, Greg. I also wanted to, Courtney, if I can steal the mic for you for a minute. Dia Gingu had a question. Just wondering about the valuation on the land at the 1.15, which seems like a lot over when you look at the total cost of the house at 3.2. I can tell you where I live, where my other home is in the New Jersey shore, which is a very lovely area in the southern New Jersey shore. There are homes that cost $1 million and land costing $6 million, $5 million. What the idea was in providing a more affordable product along the Ocean Estate main bluff and shoreline was to put a price point on a very valuable piece of land. And that piece of land that supports the $4 million, $5 million, $6 million plus price points also supports the Reef Villa, which is not as huge a house as a Dune Villa or the Bank Villa or the Shoal Villas, but nevertheless is on very valuable land, and therefore the land value.
Thank you, Joe. Greg, I actually had a question. The barbecue area outside, I always have a question. Is the bit above the barbecue, is that a screened area, or is there glazing there to kind of mimic the kind of glazing that you've got upstairs, or what does that look like?
That's open to the, because of this width we've got between that side of the property and the adjacent property. We thought it'd be nice to leave that as open as possible. But the point to note there is that has retractable insect screening all around that space. So the potential in the evening to leave the sliders open and to move kind of easily from inside to outside, but not to allow the bugs in, is quite a nice, you know, to get the breeze still. You know, it's just about functionality. So yeah, it's if you like, above that kitchen, it's a kind of frame view of the landscape adjacent.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You almost get that really gorgeous kind of green view there to kind of contrast with all the blues and ocean views.
Yeah.
But in the shaping of the landscape, we do take care between the houses, especially on the eastern side of each house, to create a bermed landscaped area, so that sort of helps to give privacy on the one hand, but also cuts the breeze a little bit so that you can comfortably sit there at any time.
Okay. Any other questions from our viewers? Okay. I don't think we've got.
I wanted to thank Greg and Ingo for just doing a great job on these spotlights. They've been super illuminating, even for like Nina and I and Courtney, who are involved in, and Pat and Mike and people involved in the project every day. There's so much to learn. It's such a robust project, with the Ocean Estate and the Lagoon Villas and the launch boathouses. And this is just a wonderful way to really connect and drill down on each of the individual components. So, I'm learning a ton during these, and it's very valuable and valued by me personally and by, our listing team and by our overall team and the people in the industry and community, I think. Thank you. And Courtney, you for sure.
Yeah, no, I second that. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks for having us. Huge shout out to Peter and John who are on this call and who are part of our family at South Bank. Thanks for joining today.
And for the others who are watching, and also for Peter and John, if you'd like to join us again, we'll be having our next episode in a couple of weeks' time, and I'll be sending out an invite as usual, and that will be our last episode, I believe, on the Ocean Estates, and then we'll be moving on to the lagoon and the boathouses. So hope to see you all again in a couple of weeks' time.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good week, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Nina. Bye-bye.
Bye, Court.